First, the latest on the search for the missing Malaysia Airlines plane MH370.
That's right. Malaysia has identified one of two passengers who boarded the plane with a stolen passport. The police chief would only say it was a non-Malaysian man, and they got this from studying airport surveillance video. The chief Malaysian investigator says the man identified looks like AC Milan player Mario Balotelli, and that both men with the passports are not Asian-looking.
Do you know a footballer by the name of Bartoli? He's an Italian. Do you know how he looks like? Bartoli. 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 Balotelli. Balotelli. Yes. Nationalities, okay, I don't want to dwell about it, but they are not Asian looking.
Overnight, Interpol said Malaysia did not check its database of stolen passports. Malaysia's acting transport minister says they are working with US and Chinese officials on the matter.
Met up with the US intelligence yesterday. Today we've shared the information, both the biometric and the background information and the visuals that have been recorded in KLIA. And those information are now being digested by the relevant agencies, both local and international.
Nearly 72 hours after flight MH370 went missing en route to Beijing from Kuala Lumpur, authorities still have no clue where the plane is. They say its whereabouts are an unprecedented mystery.
It's unprecedented missing aircraft mystery, as you can put it. It is mystified. The Honourable Prime Minister used the word perplexing. We are equally puzzled as well.
Officials have tested samples from two large oil slicks spotted in the sea off the coast of Kelantan, but these turned out to be bunker oil from ships and not jet fuel as suspected. Chinese Coast Guard vessels have spotted two new oil slicks near the search area. They say it will take a day for the lab results to come out. 2/3 of the 239 people on board are from China. And Chinese and Malaysian authorities have been speeding up the process of issuing visas and passports to relatives of passengers so they can travel to Kuala Lumpur if they want to. Beijing has also sent 13 officials to Malaysia to assist with investigation efforts. But it says this is not a sign of mistrust.
中国之所以派出专家工作组来马，不是对马来西亚的不信任，绝不是啊。相反，它体现了一种合作伙伴关系和同舟共济。
The search area has been further doubled to 100 nautical miles around Igari and up to North Sumatra. Malaysian officials say 34 aircraft, 40 ships and over 100 men, over 1,000 man-hours have been committed to the search operations for MH370. New Zealand is the latest to join countries like the US, Thailand, Australia, the Philippines and Singapore in an international effort to hunt for the plane. But a blame game is starting. Chinese state media today published a blistering editorial saying the initial response from Malaysia was not swift enough. Well, Channel News Asia's Indochina Bureau Chief is in Vietnam and has the latest on the search efforts.
They have been sending out sorties every few hours. These sorties take about 4 hours in total. And when I was there today, they actually flew a few aircraft down from Hanoi that are smaller planes and that are able to fly closer to the water. Previously, they were flying at above about 2,500 meters above the sea. These airplanes are now capable of flying at about 1,000 meters. Now, they're relying on just the naked eye to track any of the debris. They told me they aren't necessarily the most experienced at search and recovery or search and locate, thus having to enlist the help of other countries in this search effort.
You're with News 5 tonight. Anxious friends and relatives of the passengers on board MH370 have yet another night of uncertainty ahead of them, as early leads on suspected oil and debris are ruled out one by one. One analyst explains why the search is taking so long.
你比如说，就是在这个办公室里面，你放一根针，然后大家不知道在哪个位置，大家去找吧，也都是非常困难的。 然后完了以后，因为再根据这个这个飞机这个10年的客机，它说特殊的情况，比如说它最开始它没有任何求救信号，突然从雷达中消失，这就给这个搜救带来非常大的困难。
While fears of a terror attack surfaced after it emerged that at least 2 passengers had been travelling with stolen passports, one analyst told us why he does not believe that this is the case.
My view is that if it was a terrorist attack, by now we would have heard something. And I think that's quite important, because if you're making a point, like 9/11 or other airplanes that blow up, terrorists make a point very quickly about, we have done this. At the moment, there's been nothing. My personal view at the moment, it's less likely to be a terrorist attack, although I could be proved wrong in the future, but malfunction or pilot error of some sort. You know, if the electrics go out, I mean, there was a 777-200 where all the engines cut out, the electrics cut out as it was approached Heathrow last year. And if the electrics go and you can't transmit anything, and then the plane disintegrates, no message can get out, and that is an issue.
And with Malaysia's airport security in the spotlight over the stolen passports, our analyst also explained why it would have been difficult to run checks on all the passengers.
I've noticed that Interpol are saying they have a database of stolen passports, but if you consider how many passengers are going through immigration at any one time, it's almost...
They can't possibly check every passport if it's stolen.
It's almost impossible. The computers would crash.
Even as hours turn into days, netizens all over the world are hoping against hope that the passengers of flight MH370 would somehow return safely. It was top on the minds of football fans at the weekend's fixtures as well. And the crisis also moved graffiti artists in Taiping, Perak, to create pieces like these, and also striking a chord online. This tweet from Malaysian Transport Minister Hishamuddin Hussein, who is seen hugging the relative of a passenger.